There's a review and a preview today, and we'll start with the review of the Community Shield. Arsenal 3, Manchester City nil. A chastening result for City, and a reminder that Arsenal are the team to beat. What a ball from Miles Lewis-Skelly to find Riccardo Calafiori for the first goal within 30 seconds. Kai Havertz made it 2, and the third was from Martin Odegaard just after half-time. New signings Christos Solis and Bruno Guimaraes made their Arsenal debut, though the latter came off at half-time. Solis with 2 assists was very exciting. For City, Elliot Anderson also made his debut, and of course it was the first game for Enzo Maresca in the dugout as well. Now, the Community Shield doesn't mean much, but I get the sense that any Arsenal fan watching this will have any worries put to bed. The players look sharp again, and it's not often anyone beats City 3-0. Real Madrid did it last season, and they were the only team to beat them by more than 2 goals. If you're a City fan, you just watch that and go, The same, really, if you're a fan of anyone else hoping Arsenal have an off year and you can sneak in, as Arne Slot did a couple of years ago. The fact is that Arsenal are now English football's preeminent team and are ahead of everyone else. That's not based on this game alone, but it does reinforce it. Maresca's got work to do. And we should take a moment to reflect on one of the world's greatest club sides ever, which is what City were despite their penchant for bottling the Champions League until they finally got their hands on it in 2023. They were unstoppable in the Prem. Toure, Company, David Silva, Otamendi, Aguero, Fernandinho, Sterling, Jesus, Gundogan, Mahrez, Walker, De Bruyne, Ederson, and now Bernardo, Stones, Rodri, and Pep, the one who masterminded it all. These are investments from the past. They went one by one, and now only Haaland and Dias are left. What a team they were. With the 2 pre-season showcases done, the meat of the season begins. The first legs of the European playoffs are this midweek, with the Champions League on Tuesday and Wednesday, and the Europa League on Thursday. But the only English team plays in the Conference League, also on Thursday. It's Tromsø versus Brighton. This game is obviously very important for Brighton, but who are the opponents? Well, Tromsø came third in the Norwegian League last year, with that country using a calendar year schedule. This means they're halfway through their season at the moment and are currently third. They're a fair way behind Norway's top 2, Viking and Bodø Glimt, and their cup, which uses the normal European season, hasn't started yet. Third in Norway means you enter the Europa League, but they lost 4-1 on aggregate to Hradec Kralove from Czechia. In the Conference League, they beat Romania's CFR Cluj 7-1 over 2 legs to reach this point. The Tromsø squad has just 2 full internationals, one for Mauritania and one for Cabo Verde, who didn't make the World Cup squad. It is, of course, a David versus Goliath story. If Hradec Kralove are 3 goals better than them, you can only imagine how Brighton will be. Brighton got into this competition after finishing 8th. They ultimately took the place from Man City's Carabao Cup win after redistributions. They've signed the likes of Costinha, Pascal Struijk, Zadok Johanna, Michael Svoboda, and Luka Vuskovic as they expand their squad now they're in Europe. But some stalwarts are gone, such as Danny Welbeck and Jan-Paul van Hecke. They played a behind-closed-doors friendly against Wickham at their training ground and won 4-1, or they were meant to play Anneli in France, but due to an unusual pitch, played Strasbourg at the Austrian FA HQ instead behind closed doors and won 4-3. They had 2 friendlies at home, beating Roma 3-0 and Bologna 1-0. I know it's just pre-season, but isn't that scoreline crazy? Brighton 3, Roma 0. Imagine telling your dad when he was your age that scoreline. He just wouldn't believe it. It works pretty much however old your dad is and however old you are. How football has changed, in the last 15 years. Anyway, look, Brighton are miles better than this team, and it's not even close. We don't need to get into how much of a mismatch this is. However, this tie is massive for Brighton. It guarantees months of European football if they get through, and we all know that they can win this trophy and get all the rewards that come with it, most notably a guaranteed place in the Europa League and a chance to win that and enter the Champions League. So even though this game is completely winnable, a game their second string would win over 9 out of 10 times, they have to be careful. Although they do have the safety net of the fact that it's 2 legs So even if they lose in Norway, they can bring it back. There are a few stats for you to snack on. Why not? Tromsø have not qualified for a European competition since 13-14 when they made the Europa League. They're actually put in Tottenham's group then. They failed in the qualifiers twice since then. The English team have made the Conference League through the qualifiers every season since it was introduced. The last time an English team failed to make it through the qualifiers in any European competition was 18-19 when Burnley got knocked out of the Europa League playoffs by Olympiacos. Now, the game is on Thursday. It's at 6 p.m. English time, which is 7 p.m. local, at the Tromsø Stadium. We don't know the TV yet. It's too early in the Conference League for it all to be on one channel sold by UEFA. The rights are actually with Tromsø, so they can sell it to a UK channel. They can sell it to Brighton if they want, or they can even just show it online themselves. It's up to them. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you're an Arsenal fan, how did you take the Community Shield? Does that make you more confident? Were you worried after the slow pre-season? And did that put those doubts to bed? And are you happy to win it? I know some people don't even count it as a trophy. I think it's the smallest of the trophies, so it still counts a bit. Man City fans, are you worried? I remember the 2022 one where Haaland, it was Haaland's debut. He looked rubbish, but then, of course, he went on to set a record-setting season. But how do you feel about life under Maresca? Even in the last couple of years under Guardiola, things have kind of been trending downwards. Where do you think you are in the rebuild? And for Brighton fans, if you're making the trip to Tromsø, I can't imagine there'll be many of you because it's not a big stadium. I think they'll give you about 400 tickets, something like that. But what an adventure that would be, right in the north of Norway. I have gone to the Bodø/Glimt Stadium, never Tromsø. So it'd be amazing if anyone's going. And how are you getting there? Because it's a bit of a trek. Hopefully you can fly direct. If there are any Tromsø fans, it'd be great to hear from you. Are you confident? Do you think you can spring what would be one of the biggest humiliations for an English team in Europe in a while? And if you're a fan of any other team playing in the European playoffs, I know a lot of the Scottish teams, Celtic in the Champions League, Motherwell, Hearts, Hibs and Rangers all in the Conference League, Larne as well from Northern Ireland. If any fans of any other team are playing in the European playoffs and maybe on the continent as well, leave a comment and I'll talk a little bit about your game as well. But for now, thanks for listening and goodbye.